Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to our deep learning series. Now here in this video, we are going to perform the data visualization. Now I know we should have done this a long time ago. That means just like when we downloaded the data set, we should have done that. But we were actually focused on splitting the data set into three parts: training set, test set, and the validation set from our own using the OS library. And that is the reason we lost the concentration on visualizing the data. So let's do one thing. Let's do that analysis now. So let's visualize the data and see how the data looks like. So I'll download the data set from my Dropbox, and once it's done, I'll unzip it and I'll remove the files and I'll import the necessary libraries. In this scenario, I'm just importing three important libraries: OS, SHUTIL, and the NumPy library. Since I'm interested in creating the visualization, it's very important that I'll be importing my Seaborn library as well. And along with that, obviously, I'll also import matplotlib library, that is pyplot module. So I'll say import Seaborn as SNS, and I think we have already done that. So instead of doing it again, I'll just cut this page thing. Okay, now I'll add it over here so that we have all the imports in one place. So once this has been imported, now let's do the visualization on our data. Now, in order to do the visualization, let's do the visualization on our existing training data, and let's count as how many number of images that we have for each of the class. So that one thing we haven't done till now, isn't it? So let's do that. I'm going to mention what is my training directory. So I'll specify my training directory as training directory. Okay. And where is this training directory is present? This training directory is this. Okay, my training set is my training directory, and inside this training set we have the necessary images. So I'll copy this path. Okay, so this will set the constant of training set, and once I have got the data from this folder, what I should be doing is I should count it. Now in order to do that counting, I'll create a Python dictionary as D, and I'll specify the classes of the data that I'm having. So I'm having the images of cats. Initially, I'll set it equal to 0, and I'll have the images of dogs, and the number of dogs is 0. So this is what I'm initializing to get started. Now, once this dictionary has been created, I'm going to go through every directory that is present over there in this training set, and after I go inside that particular directory, I'll do the iteration. That means I'll go inside this subdirectory of cats and I'll count as how many number of files are present, and I'll do the same thing for the dogs as well. Now in order to do that, I'll say that okay, for D in os dot, where is the directory? I'll have to list the directories. So list directories of the folder of my training directory. And once we go inside this, what I should be doing, I have to get that particular subdirectory and attach it to my training directory. In order to do that, I'll say path is equal to os dot path dot join, and what are the values that I'm joining? I'm joining my training directory and its subdirectory, that is D. And after I get this path, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say that D, okay, and D, I think it's a little confusing. So this is actually dictionary and this is actually D itself, right? So I'll say dir, okay, and I'll also say this to be dir, and this would actually make more sense. dir, and I'll set it equal to length of os dot list directory of P, okay, which is my path. Now after I've done this, I'll say that okay, print. So I'll make use of F formatting of my string. I'm going to say that okay, for class dir, the number of images are, then for this I'm going to say that okay, dir, all right, and I'll specify it like this. Observe guys what I'm doing over here. Okay, so this is what we are doing. We are going inside every subdirectory that is present in my training set. So in my case, I'm having cats and dogs, and after I select each and every subdirectory, let's say this cats over here in this example, in place of dir in the first iteration, I'm joining this path. That means I'm getting this complete path, and I'm counting how many number of images that I'm having for that specific class, that is cats, and I'm storing inside my Python dictionary of D. And once I have done that, that means once I have my dictionary ready, I'm just printing out saying it as okay for this class, and I'm specifying my folder name. Remember guys, I'm making use of f-string formatting. Now if this f-string formatting is very new to you, do let me know. I'll give you a video as how we can actually do the string formatting using this f-string formatting technique, and it's very easy and it's very intuitive. Now coming back to the topic, so I'm saying it as okay for this class, these are the number of images. Alright, so let me just execute this cell. Okay, so we have the output that says as for class dogs the number of images are 4006, and for class cats I'm having 4001 images. Okay, so this is how the data is distributed, and as we can clearly see, at least we have the equal number, almost equal. It's not 100% equal, it's almost equal. Now in order to visualize this, let's create a bar chart. Now to create a bar chart, I'll say x is equal to, what are the classes that we have? So the classes are d.keys. Okay, so these are the classes that I'm having. For the values, I'll say d.values. So this is going to get the values of my Python dictionary, and once I've done that, I can just create a bar chart. So I'll say sns.barplot x comma y plt.show. Okay, so we are getting error. Let's do one thing, since to avoid the complication, I'm just keeping it simple. So let's execute this. So this is how our plot looks like. So we are able to create a bar chart, and we can clearly see the class distribution for images that we are having. It's pretty good. I mean, it's almost the same. Now let's display some of the sample images that we have in our data set. I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call it as okay display data, and this actually takes the image directory. So image directory is what it takes as an input, and inside this I'm going to specify how it has to behave. I'm going to initialize my I to be equal to 1. Then I'm going to set that okay plt.figure, and I'll set my fix size to be equal to this time 20, okay, let's say 10,15. Now I'm going to say that okay for image in image directory, and how it should behave is I'll specify that plt.subplot, and then I'm going to say 1 comma 3 comma I. Okay, and then plt.axis, I'll say it as false because I don't want to specify the axis while I'm printing the images of cats and dogs. And I'm going to say that we'll do one thing, we'll import a function which is present inside the sklearn library. It is actually helpful for us to display the images. Now in order to do that, I'll first import it like this. I'll say import skimage.io import imread comma imshow. Okay, now what does this function would mean? So let's do one thing, let's open up the documentation in order to get the better understanding of this particular imread and imshow. So I'm now in the official documentation page of scikit-image. So this is the library that we would use if you want to process the images in Python programming language, guys. Now from this scikit-image module, so we are importing the imread, and we are also importing this something called as imshow. So this is the one where we have just imported. So what it does is this imshow is a function that we were going to use to display an image. So each and every image that I'm getting over here from my folders, so I'm displaying it with the help of this module of scikit-learn, that is scikit-image. Okay, so this is going to display an image, and the parameter it takes is the ARR, which is an image data or the name of the image file. Okay, so the benefit of this is if I'm using this imshow function which is present inside this skimage.io, I don't have to read it first and then I'll have to send it inside this imshow. I can just specify where exactly is my image file is present, and I can directly read it from that particular file. if you are using the OpenCV or any other library, first you have to read that file, convert into an array format, and then you'll actually display the images. Now, because of this SK image, or because of this library of scikit image, I don't have to do that. I can just specify where exactly my file is present, and that is what I'm doing over here. I'll say that, okay, I am show, and I'm going to specify where is my image. So this is my image. So this will take care of displaying the images. And after I display the images, I'll say I is equal to I plus 1. And once it's done, finally, I'm going to say plt.show. So let's execute this. And once I have done this, let's create some visualization. Now to create the visualization, I'm going to say something like this. I'll say that, okay, for directories in os.list directories of my training directory. Now inside this training directory, I'm going to say my image path. So I'll say im path, and I'm going to set it equal to os.path.join my training directory, comma dir, okay, where is my image path, and then I'm going to specify a new variable called count, which is equal to 0, and I'm going to say image directories as a blank Python list, and I'm going to mention something like this. I'll say for I comma img in enumerate, and I'm going to mention that os.list directories of image path. Alright, now once I go inside this, I'm going to mention that, okay, my image path, which is where my actually image is present, I'm going to mention that image, that is os.path.join, and my previous im path, okay, the folder path, comma my individual image. And once I've got that, I'll say image.directories dot append, and I'm going to append this path of img path, which is my specific image path, and I'll just get only 3 images, guys, because if you look at my previous code of displaying the images, I have mentioned only 3. Okay, so I'll say I equal to 2 brick. All right, and once I have done this, I'm going to call display data, and I'm going to specify the data. In this scenario, I have to specify the directories. The directories is dir. Okay, so this specific directory which we are actually checking is this, guys. So img dir, yes. Okay, so I'm just specifying over here. So I'll do one thing. I think I'll have to, yeah, let it be like this. I'll just execute this. Okay, so we have the visualization as how the data looks like. As you can clearly see, these are some of the example images of dogs and images of cats. So it's very straightforward code, guys. So first I have written a function to display the images. So this takes the image directories, and what I'm doing over here is I'm going to every file that is present in that image directory. Let's say I'm going inside the cats, so I'm going inside every file that is present in cat directory. I'm plotting with the help of imshow, which is present inside this sk image library. So I'm just specifying where exactly that file is present, and once I have done that, I'm just creating a plot. So I'm actually creating 3 plots, guys. So one next to each other, so that means 1 row and 3 columns. In that way, I'm creating actually 3 files or 3 plots. And once I have done that, so I'm just displaying the plot with the help of plt.show. Now here in the below code, this would actually take care of creating the image visualization from both the subparts of cats and dogs. So for directories in my original training directory, and I'm going inside every subdirectory, and this im path refers to my cats subdirectory. And then these are 2 values that I've specified. Count is equal to 0 and image directories as a blank Python list. Now here I have mentioned that for I comma img in enumerate list directory of im path, So inside this cat subfolder, I'm doing the enumerate operation. So this would create a counter as well as my original file, that is original file name. And once I'm getting that, I'm storing this I, which is the counter, and img will have the file name. So I'm joining that file name with that subdirectory which I've got from my im path, and I'm getting that complete path. And once I get that complete path, I'm storing inside my image directories. So this image directories Python list contains 3 files. And not only just 3 files, it has the complete path, guys, where exactly that particular image file is present. And once I've got 3 image files, I'm breaking this. So that means I'm coming out of this for loop, and then I'm calling this displayed data, and I'm sending 3 complete path of where exactly those images are present. And then I'm executing this display data, and this would take care of displaying those 3 images. Now to get the complete clarity, suppose if I call as img_dirs, so this is a Python list, and this should have 3 images where we have created the visualization. See, that is how it is working. Alright, so we have done the visualization of our data set in this video. So let's continue more of our analysis in the next video. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care and subscribe to our channel.